This young boy was found stuffed into a drain pipe. Hello, true crimeers. This is the case of Shaun Jenkins. This is a case about a child, so just be aware of that. Viewer discretion is advised. This case occurred in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 5-year-old Shaun Jenkins attended this school here, James Rhodes Elementary in Philadelphia, and that is where he was on October 21st, 1983. School would let out sometime around 2:30 or so. Shaun would typically walk home, but on this particular day, he never got home. He would never come home again. Shaun's mother arrived home from work at approximately 6 p.m. that same night and realized that her son was not there. So by 6:10 p.m., she contacts police to report him missing. So a search for the 5-year-old boy begins immediately. They have police, family, friends, volunteers, all searching for him. Through their investigation, police did learn that there was at least one witness who saw Shaun holding hands with a man and walking away from the school. And this sighting was just before 3 p.m. But nobody seemed to recognize the man. Police did zero in on one particular suspect, the ex-boyfriend of Shaun's mom. Apparently this guy was violent. He had a history of abuse, but to my understanding, he was never actually formally arrested or indicted or anything. The most important thing here was, where is Shaun? Unfortunately, that answer came by the end of the weekend. The body of 5-year-old Shaun Jenkins was found stuffed into a drain pipe, and they believe he was put in there by his killer in order for him to drown. The 5-year-old boy had numerous blunt force trauma injuries to his skull. They believed he had been struck over the head numerous times with a metal pipe. There was also indications that the 5-year-old boy was raped. I'm not 100% sure if the cause of death was the blunt force trauma or drowning, but I'm guessing because they indicated that he was put in there to drown, I'm guessing that he drowned in the water that was in there. And so this young boy, he suffered. These ones are always, these ones are always hard to cover. 5 years old. 5 years old. An innocent, happy little kid. And the fact of the matter is that whatever monster did this to him has never been caught. We're now here in, 2025. This happened in 1983. It's been over 40 years and nothing. I was reading an article that the family is understandably incredibly frustrated because they have been trying to push for DNA testing to take whatever evidence was found at the scene where his body was found, process it again, and see if they can find something on it. They didn't have the technology back in 1983, but they do have evidence that they still have in a sealed box somewhere that now with today's technology, you could take a speck, a tiny speck of something, and turn it into a whole DNA profile. And then you could put that into a genetic genealogy database or ancestry.com, and you can find the family of the person who did this and then narrow it down. We know it's possible. It gets done all the time now. But for some reason, it just doesn't appear to be happening in this case. According to one article, they state that there are like over 600 unsolved murders from this, time frame from that area. And so there is like this massive backlog. And so, the family of Shaun and the family of all those other victims are just kind of playing the waiting game. When is something going to happen? When are we going to do something? When are we going to test this evidence? And really, it's ultimately about putting pressure on the police. Just because it's been decades since this all happened doesn't mean it can't be solved. We see these things solved all the time now. So there is definitely hope. They can take DNA, hopefully found somewhere from his remains or the evidence, and maybe put it against the ex-boyfriend who had a violent temper. Rule him out or show that he's the one, and then go on from there. But I get it. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of cases, and it takes time. I just wish there was a way these things could be expedited. But someone somewhere out there has got to know the truth about who did this to 5-year-old Shaun Jenkins. Perhaps that someone is you. If you have any information on the murder of 5-year-old Shaun Jenkins, please contact the Philadelphia Police Department at 215-686-3388.